The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Steve Maraboli. Confronting areas you might otherwise ignore is essential when you're in pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual. Pain draws us into moments of clarity as distractions fade, leaving us to deal with the raw, unfiltered truth of our lives. Too often, people view pain as a sign of failure, as if the mere presence of hardship means something has gone wrong. However, pain is part of the process of growth and transformation. Think about how muscles grow. When you exercise, you subject your muscles to stress, breaking down muscle fibers. This painful process ultimately strengthens them as they heal. Similarly, the pain in life breaks us down, but only to build us back up stronger and more resilient than before. Pain reflects the areas in our lives that highlight our weaknesses, fears, and insecurities, not to shame us but to help us recognize where we need to grow. Without challenges, we would never be pushed to stretch beyond our capabilities, nor would we discover our true potential. Pain forces us out of our comfort zones, pushing us into a space of discomfort that develops the strength and character necessary to fulfill our purpose. It also reveals the depth of our capacity. Until we face adversity, we may never know how strong we truly are. Pain signals that something needs to change, whether it's an unfulfilling job or unhealthy habits, pointing out areas of our lives that no longer serve us. It invites us to pivot, make different choices, and realign with our true purpose. If we ignore it or run from it, we miss the message it is trying to deliver. Pain is not your enemy, it is a wake-up call, reminding you that you are capable of more. Consider the lessons pain teaches us. When you've been betrayed, you learn the importance of discernment and setting healthy boundaries. When you fail at something you worked hard for, you develop perseverance and resilience. When you lose someone you love, you gain an appreciation for the value of relationships. These lessons are temporary, but they can last a lifetime if we're willing to learn from them. Many people try to avoid pain altogether, opting for more comfortable lives because they fear what pain might bring. However, avoiding pain means missing out on the opportunity to become the best version of yourself. We need to embrace pain as part of the journey, recognizing that when it comes, it serves a purpose. Changing our perspective shifts our mindset. Suddenly, pain is no longer something to fear or resent, it becomes a tool for self-discovery and transformation. When faced with challenges and setbacks, how you respond determines the direction of your future. It's easy to believe that circumstances dictate our destiny, but the truth is that your response to those circumstances is far more important. Every moment in life presents a choice, to react emotionally or respond with intention, to succumb to fear or rise with faith, to give up or press forward. These choices, often made in the most difficult times, shape the course of your life. When challenges arise, it's natural to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or defeated. These emotions are valid, but they do not have to control your response. Recognize that, no matter what happens, you can choose how you react. You can choose to view obstacles as opportunities for growth or let them shake you into someone stronger and wiser. Your future depends on how you handle adversity. For example, when you face hardship, you can see it as a setback or as a stepping stone. Most successful people in history are not those who never failed but those who learned to use failure as a catalyst for success. They understood that failure is part of the process, and their response to being crushed by failure propelled them forward. Every time life presents an opportunity, it allows you to grow, learn, and become better than you were before. However, growth is not automatic, it requires a deliberate choice to rise above the situation and find the lesson within it. You must adopt a mindset that refuses to be defined by challenges and instead embraces them as opportunities to learn and grow. Your response also determines the quality of your relationships. How you handle conflict, disappointment, and misunderstandings shapes trust, respect, and love in your relationships. Responding with patience and understanding can build stronger connections, while reacting with anger and frustration can lead to damage and distance. In every interaction, you have the power to influence the outcome. You can choose to listen, empathize, and respond thoughtfully, or you can react impulsively and escalate the situation. Even in the most difficult circumstances, such as loss or grief, your response determines your ability to heal and move forward. Pain is unavoidable, but how you choose to process that pain determines whether it becomes a source of strength or weakness. You can choose to dwell on the past, or you can choose to embrace the future. Embracing the decision to move forward is one of the most powerful responses you can make. It directly shapes your life. When you encounter moments of discomfort, how you respond to them matters. It's easy to retreat to what is comfortable and familiar, but growth requires stepping into the unknown. Responding to fear means pushing forward instead of shrinking back. Every time you choose to face your fears, you expand your capacity for courage and resilience. Remember that your response is a reflection of your mindset. With a fixed mindset, you'll see challenges as threats and respond with avoidance or defeat. However, with a growth mindset, you'll view challenges as opportunities to stretch yourself, learn, and become better. Your future will expand accordingly, based on which mindset you choose to adopt. Believing in your capacity to learn and grow allows you to respond to challenges with perseverance and curiosity. Your future is shaped by your daily responses, both to seemingly insignificant moments and to major events. How you respond to daily stress, small inconveniences, and routine challenges impacts your overall outlook on life. If you develop the habit of responding with patience and positivity, even in small matters, it will become second nature when bigger challenges arise. Conversely, if you react to every day with frustration or negativity, you will likely respond that way to larger problems, creating a cycle of negativity. The key to a bright future is to take ownership of your response. No matter what life throws at you, you must choose your reaction. You have the power to decide whether circumstances will control you or whether you will control your response to them. This does not mean denying your emotions or pretending everything is fine. It means acknowledging your emotions but not letting them dictate your actions. Choose to respond with wisdom, courage, and intention, knowing that every response is a step toward your future. In every moment, you are reacting to life. Reactions are automatic and often driven by fear or frustration. In contrast, thoughtful responses are intentional and rooted in a vision for the future. When you choose to respond instead of reacting, you take control of your life, aligning your actions with your values and goals, setting yourself on a course for success. Your responses to challenges and opportunities will determine the trajectory of your future. You are not powerless in the face of adversity, you are empowered by your ability to choose. The choices you make and how you respond to life's trials will shape the future you live tomorrow. Choose wisely. Forgiveness is the most powerful response. Many misunderstand forgiveness, believing it is a sign of weakness. They think that forgiving someone means condoning the wrong or allowing the other person to evade accountability. However, true forgiveness is not about releasing the other person from responsibility, it's about freeing yourself from the weight of resentment and anger. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you trap yourself in a cycle of pain, reliving the hurt repeatedly. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to freedom, freedom from the emotional and mental burdens that can hinder your growth and perspective. It's not about the other person, it's about your journey. When you choose to forgive, you take control of your life and emotions, refusing to let the actions of others define your present or your future. Forgiveness is an act of strength because it requires confronting your pain head-on, dealing with the hurt, and releasing it. This process is not easy, but it is necessary for achieving true freedom and peace. People often struggle with forgiveness because they believe that forgiving means saying what happened was okay. However, forgiveness is not about excusing behavior, it's about letting go of the power that anger and resentment hold over you. Holding on to anger may seem like a way to maintain control, but it is the anger that controls you, locking you in the past and preventing you from fully embracing the present or moving toward the future. When you forgive, you are not erasing the past or pretending it didn't happen. You are choosing not to let it dictate how you live your life today. Forgiveness also involves self-compassion. We often allow past experiences to affect our self-worth and self-esteem, identifying ourselves as victims of others' actions. Forgiveness enables you to separate yourself from the hurt, recognizing what happened to you without allowing it to define who you are. By forgiving, you reclaim your identity and choose to live beyond the labels of victimhood or suffering. Forgiveness carries lessons, but you can only receive those lessons when you release the anger. It opens the door to reflection, allowing you to see what the experience taught you about yourself, your relationships, and your values. It gives you clarity about where boundaries need to be set and what changes need to be made for personal growth to occur. Forgiveness is about letting go of the emotional hold that wrongdoing has on you. It doesn't necessarily mean continuing in the same relationship or situation. Sometimes the most loving and healthy thing you can do is forgive while maintaining distance or establishing boundaries. Forgiveness empowers you to release the emotional burden without sacrificing your well-being or sense of safety. An important aspect of forgiveness is learning to forgive yourself. We are often our own harshest critics, holding on to guilt, shame, or regret long after others have moved on. Self-forgiveness is essential as it allows you to acknowledge your humanity and capacity to make mistakes. We all have moments when we fall short or wish we could have done things differently. However, holding on to self-condemnation perpetuates the cycle of pain and keeps you stuck in a state of self-punishment. Choosing to forgive yourself is an act of self-love, permitting you to move forward, learn from the past, and grow into the person you are meant to become. Forgiveness is an expression of strength because it challenges the ego, which convinces us that holding on to grudges is a form of justice. In reality, it is a form of bondage. It takes humility and strength to acknowledge that you are not perfect and that others are not perfect. We are all on this journey together, learning and growing as we go. When you forgive, you rise above the need for vengeance or retribution, choosing to align with love, compassion, and understanding. Forgiveness transforms not only your emotional and mental state but also your physical health. Numerous studies have shown that holding on to anger and resentment can have detrimental effects on the body, contributing to stress, anxiety, and even physical illnesses. When you forgive, you release the toxic energy that has been weighing you down, allowing your body and mind to heal. You open yourself up to a life of greater peace, joy, and well-being. Forgiveness is not just an emotional or spiritual act, it is holistic, impacting every aspect of your being. It doesn't happen overnight, it requires patience and intentionality. There may be moments when the pain resurfaces, and you find yourself feeling hurt all over again. In those moments, remind yourself that forgiveness is a journey. It's about choosing to release the hold that the past has on you. Each time you choose forgiveness, you take another step toward freedom, healing, and wholeness. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It is the key to unlocking a life filled with joy and emotional freedom. When you forgive, you are not only freeing yourself from the past, but you are also creating space for new possibilities, relationships, and experiences to enter your life. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing harmful behavior in your life. It often requires creating boundaries to protect yourself from future hurt. Recognizing that forgiveness and reconciliation are two different things is vital. Forgiveness is about letting go of the emotional hold that wrongdoing has on you, but it doesn't necessarily mean continuing in the same relationship or situation. Sometimes the most loving and healthy thing you can do is to forgive someone while maintaining distance or establishing boundaries. In conclusion, forgiveness has the power to transform not only your emotional and mental state but also your physical health. It allows you to release anger and resentment, opening yourself up to a life filled with peace, joy, and well-being. Remember that forgiveness is a journey. Each time you choose to forgive, you take a step toward freedom and healing. You can change your narrative and reclaim your power, shaping your future to reflect the life you desire. About the book. Are you ready to tap into your inner strength and achieve greatness? The Power series is your guide to acquiring the power and knowledge you need to succeed in every sphere of life. Through this inspiring series, you'll discover the secrets to building mental toughness and resilience, the keys to achieving physical health and wellness, the strategies for building strong social connections and networks, the techniques for mastering your emotions and achieving spiritual growth. Join the journey to unleashing your inner strength and achieving greatness. Don't let limitations hold you back. Empower yourself with the Power series and start achieving your dreams today.
About the author. Reverend Dr. Olufunke is a dynamic, multifaceted woman of God who is full of substance and virtue. She believes that every woman must die empty, and with this mindset she strives to explore and fulfill her God-given potential. With a mandate to restore people and bring hope to her generation, she has positively impacted many lives and continues to influence her generation with powerful, life-changing messages. Her focus is on relationships, marriage, the home, and womanhood as a whole. Her multifaceted ministry also aids men and women struggling with sexual addiction, helping them break free and step into their God-ordained destiny. Through her heaven-inspired teaching and preaching, her voice resonates with freedom to all who know what it means to be in chains. Dr. Olufunke is the founder of the Women College of Ministry, Men College of Ministry, and the School of Finishing Touches. Reverend Dr. Olufunke is a life coach who reaches out daily to be a blessing to people's lives through her on-air radio program, Moment to Ponder. Her weekly, on-air live radio program, She Matters, Straight Talk with Olufunke, on Blast FM is always a delight to many, as she dishes out wisdom nuggets on how to manage relationships, home, marriage, and life in general. Reverend Dr. Olufunke is the founder of Mending Lives Foundation, a non-governmental organization targeted at assisting the less privileged and, most importantly, the emotionally damaged individuals in society. She is also a certified family therapist and professional counselor. Reverend Dr. Mrs. Olufunke is a prolific writer and a distinguished author who has published over 100 books that have been of immense blessing to her generation. A mother and grandmother, she is a solid teacher of the Word and a highly sought-after conference speaker with deep insight into God's Word. Reverend Olufunke carries prophetic grace and anointing to bring change to the lives of anyone under the sound of her voice.